Welcome back to T-Box Media. The coverage of the Auckland Disc Golf Champs 2022 at Monte, Cecilia. My name is Anthony Rodgers, joined in the booth here by Jake Brennan.
Hello, hello.
How you going, mate?
So yeah, welcome back to the back nine. Competition starting to heat up a little bit. Still running away with it on film here. The scary Mark Dakiv, 4 under for the front nine. Trying to hone him down. And that man there, Anthony Rodgers, 3 down.
Bit of a barbecue, mate. Oh, all business here. All business from Jake Brennan. 3 down himself.
Trying to be serious. Trying to take it serious.
Try a little harder, mate.
Jimmy was actually first up for the shots. He just showing off his roo-roo there. You really like that.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping he has a few more greens on the scorecards this round.
So par 10, 105 meters, downhill. Par 3, basket tucked away, as you can see by the arrow there. The flagged off area at the front's not an OB. It's just for a lot of dog walkers that were present in the first and second round.
Yeah, it looks like they took a walk during the rain, but just trying to have a little bit of open space to drive on here. I think we had a little bit of a backup here just before hole 10, so looks like you're just getting back in the mood here to jam one. Is that a Thundy, is it?
Yeah, it's my Thunderbird. Yeah. Just around the back of the pin there.
This is certainly one of the most picturesque holes with these beautiful trees up the front.
Thought this looked good out of your hand, and then it just hides it out. So there's the Mando tree down there, and safe.
Yeah, got lucky on that one. Hey, just wanted to turn it over. I think you and I both went out the back the first round or the second round, and ended up finding a little way to get out the back. But Jimmy and I both put ourselves in a scary situation on the bottom.
Mark with the routine layup there. Here's that little flick forehand that you've played a few times this round.
Yeah, I'm throwing a little patent on it, eh?
It's become a pretty good friend of yours.
Yeah, well, when you got to scramble as often as I do, mate. You know? Looks like Jimmy actually had a little bit of a little space up the backside there. Saw you measuring this one up a few times.
Yeah, I was dicing between a scuba putt or that, and I went with that one because I'd realised I didn't know how to scuba. So I decided the tournament round was not the chance to play it.
No, watch a few more YouTubes of your favourite scuba out there.
One of the scuba legends up in Auckland, Matty Huang. So I'll have to go get some lessons from him.
Oh, unlucky Jimmy. You did well to get back out in the front, but end up having to take another bogey. Just a little bag on, tap in. Pushing on to hole 11. Hole 11, par 3. 65 meters, probably plays more like 80 with the uphill. Really just want to take an overstable mid or fairway. Hanging out right, just get underneath these trees. Mark was self-admitted to say that this is one of his hardest holes. He just couldn't quite get it right on this. He looks like he almost aced it there, but the same Thundy again, is it?
Yes, it's Thunderbird. It's a deceptive hole. On camera, it doesn't really show how uphill this hole is, but the hill was pretty steep. Just getting away on me there.
He really just wanted to get it to hit the hill on the right-hand side and just skip up to the basket. But
what are you throwing here?
I think I'm going with a Barsby Eagle. And yeah, nah, just didn't give it enough oomph. Again, I think I watched both of you guys go a little further left than you wanted to, and tried to bite off a little to the right, but just a little short. See if Jimmy can get it right here.
So Jimmy's got a lot of power to get up the hill, and just saws that one off a bit. So Jimmy will be first up. He's about 13, 14 metres out. And cashes it.
Absolute jammer.
He's pretty happy with that one. Jimmy's had some putting woes today, so anything outside the circle I always count as a bit of a win. So really good for Jimmy to get that one. And he gets the first replay.
And definitely worth it, because that was pretty.
Just looked good out of the hand, really.
Chilling out on that fancy new card of yours, is it? Yeah.
Just a little bit low. You'd want that one back.
Yeah, again, just getting to about a hole 11, trying to get Marquis on. You get the birdie though there. Probably right at the circle's edge. Great putt, mate. And you get to take one on Mark again.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't be satisfied with that. He definitely wants that one himself.
It's a very aggressive tap in by you.
Yeah, I think that I feel like I've taken one too many pars already today. We'll see how the rest of the round goes.
It's arguably the most signature hole. Downhill, par 4, 228 metres.
Just a picturesque hole. Every year, everybody comes in their practice rounds and throws their whole bag at it. Hey, it's just a fun hole to play. Basket out the back here in a precarious situation. That path on the left-hand side, so B. First to tee, mate. It's your birdie on the first hole. Just a little low out of the hand. But get lucky out the back door here.
Pretty fortunate to get through the trees there, really.
Yeah, those trees on the right-hand side are definitely very grabby. There's that pink Kahu XG that Jimmy threw on the front side. Looks like it's still pretty stable. Ends up a little further left than he wants, but I think that you could still probably get up and down from that posi.
And Mark with the absolute mash straight down the fairway.
It's a Qatari he's been jamming on all day. Just knows how stable it is.
Probably up 160 plus on that one.
Out the hand, didn't know whether or not this was going to miss that or not, but
Looks pretty good.
just end up right up there with Mark.
Wow. 160 plus. Pretty easy pitch up. Birdie.
You'd hope. Fingers crossed, eh? Jimmy just sort of shorts his up. Mark measuring it in here. Certainly going to try and bite off his line. I think he's just going over stable putter on this. Gives it a bid.
Bit long, eh? Right.
So Mark doing his own commentary there. Yes, a little bit long from Mark, but nothing that he can't make on his comeback. And yourself, you thought you would go long with Mark as well.
Yeah, no, again, thought I'd bite off that same line, but
So on this one here, just about 60 metres out from the pin, should be fairly routine.
oh, asking for it to get down.
And then that happens.
So just shy of the OB over in the tussocks there. Jimmy first to putt. Probably one of the most exposed holes on the course too, would you say? Bit of wind here.
Definitely. It hasn't really shown up on camera, but it was a little bit breezy.
Gotta love One Tree Hill in the background there. On target, mate. Just a little higher. And I'm loving the gust from the gods here.
Yeah, I think the wind must have just picked up a little notch or two just when you went to putt.
Yeah. It's floaty bed, but
It looked good.
and regardless of Mark going circle too long,
Makes his comeback out. Mark doing Mark things.
Mark doing Mark things like water.
Mark's been here before and he's just closing out us young guys.
You know, he's been doing it for years, mate. Jimmy and me have to settle pars here with you. On to hole 13, par 3, 83 meters. Really another one you want to get, you know. This one used to be a little further up by the bigger trees. They put it in the little orchard-looking trees here, a little further in, a little bit more tucked. Really just a routine hyzer with an overstable mid, or again maybe a fairway driver. Mark going to his favorite standstill. Just gets caught up in a little rubbish, eh?
Yeah, that's about 6 meters out. Mark should make that pretty comfortably. So I'm going with a zone here. So I thought I'd just power up on a zone. Hole plays a little bit downhill.
And you happen to hit the same cabbage. Looks like Jimmy stepped up to something a little bit more stable, but just doesn't get the height that you guys did. And I just tried to step it up a little bit more. I was trying to go with a fairway driver here. Just throw it too low.
Yeah, it looked like you disked up a little bit there and just didn't give it the business. And yeah.
Yeah. Floaty stepper bid. I really enjoyed those circle 2 looks, but just wasn't going for me today. Nice putt, mate. Get some confidence going here in the back.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, Jimmy's just got such great form. It comes out looking money. Just went begging.
There's the dog. Doesn't make a difference to Mark. He makes his putt.
Can't phase the old fella. We'll take this opportunity just to remind everybody to like and subscribe. Again, Paul and T-Box Media is just doing such a great job putting out content for you guys.
Yeah, most of the stuff he does off on his own back, so it really means a lot to him when you just hit subscribe. It's free. In the past, I haven't hit subscribe places, but just seeing how much work Paul puts in, just do it for him, really.
Unlucky there, Jimmy.
Awesome. Here we go. Hole 14, 55 meter hole. Very short hole, just out the gap, straight, and just something finishing off to the right. Most players are just going to throw a routine stock putter, overstable forehand.
Big shout out to RPM Discs, as we see on the back of Marky-san here.
Yeah, so RPM very well represented on this lead card. Yourself and Mark.
And Jimmy as well. Yeah.
And Jimmy.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, sorry. Yep. Mark's leaving that a little bit short.
Just a little short for Mark, eh? You're still going to bite off that same line, though, it looks. Get a little bit more on it, but
What am I doing?
just a little further wide.
Oh.
There you go. Parked up.
Yeah, we'll see if I can't 3-putt that one too, mate. Trusty Ruru again for Jimmy.
So I've really been made to eat my words. I set a routine forehand hole and yet 3 of the players going backhand on it.
Yeah, I guess it's just really preference, eh? I mean, I think it sets up for the forehand, but I don't see Mark throw many either. And that was just a little hard to stretch out on that one, even with the man of your flexibility.
Short little arms, you see, so I can't really reach very far.
Mark gives it a bid, but again goes begging. Jimmy trying to do his best you impression.
Jimmy was directly behind the tree.
Yes,
you
he
couldn't
was.
put it in a worse spot for him to putt.
But again, he's just such a good sport. He got the big smile on the face. Still having a great time. I think we'll let you guys clean up a little bit here, and I'm going to do a little acrobatics myself to get into my lie.
So really looking to end your par streak. You've had one of those. Wow.
Thanks, mate. Yeah,
There you go. Congratulations.
Quite a bit of grey on the bottom of the screen there.
Paul was telling us earlier when you edit the coverage of it, it's easier to just have one colour down the bottom. So he said yours was really easy to edit, just all the pars. So
Just trying to look after my mate. Eh? Oh, this was a hard one. Just really hard to get the two on this. Par 3, 85 meters. You got that large Norfolk on the left. I think a lot of players are trying the big forehand out the back. I've seen quite a few different people go roller, go punch up the gap.
yeah, there's several different shots you can throw on this one. Really, there's the forehand flick, straight up roller, as you say. It's one of those ones you could really unload your bag at and play like 7 different shots at it. Yourself playing the wide forehand route?
Yeah, from the look of it, I just need to commit a little bit more towards trying to put it out. But I get around the Norfolk. I think that's really the only thing you want to do to get up there. Three's not a bad score on this.
Yeah, exactly. I had this pegged down as a don't take 4 hole.
Mark going with the trusty 2 here around the back, ends up in a decent spot.
Short, but yeah, nice.
Short but nice, as Mark said.
Short but nice. And you didn't want any par to go on the left side of that, so you just figured you'd go high inside and play Plinko.
High and crash the trees, but high zeroing out on me at the end there. That should have a fairly routine upshot. Jimmy trying to show us the straight line there, but just overturning it a bit and getting caught up early.
Just gets caught up in the cabbage a little early, eh?
There's not too many holes on a course that you could say the 4 players choose 4 different lines on. So I think I'm kind of a fan of the hole, really. Like, I think it adds something to the course and just makes you think a little bit about the hole.
Yeah, for park historians who've played this before, we actually used to play just to the tree that the gentleman's in front there. We did away with that hole just because there was a little bit too much in the way, and this was certainly a substitute hole put in by the Auckland Disc Golf Club. And oh, great run, mate.
There's your unicorn forehand coming out.
Hey, mate, from the look of it, I think you should do it more often. And yet another unicorn forehand. We haven't seen one from Mark all day either, but figured he'd give it a nudge as well. I really wanted this one. I just wanted to be a little further left so I didn't have the stuff in the way.
There's a legitimate look and a pretty good bid there, really. So as we just tap out our pars here, there were 2 birdies on this hole throughout the whole weekend. So shout out to Josh Love Prada and Matt Masters.
Some good old park rangers getting it done.
Yeah, the Park Rangers having a good show out on the Auckland Disc Golf Championships. For those of you who don't know, the Park Rangers are a Auckland-based club. Just started with a bunch of guys, really just throwing discs in the park, and yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly beginning to take traction and grow, and everybody's getting better and better.
Yeah, one of those things that start off as a bit of a joke, and then after a while you start taking it a bit seriously. So yeah, really happy to have met the boys up here.
I think Marky's literally talking about Josh's massive forehand out the backside there.
Josh's forehand's amazing.
Yeah, in years past, again, this used to be a little further. This year it's par 3, 87 meters. I believe that we used to play it as a par 4, and it was a little over 100. But again, quite a few walkers coming down this hill. Yet another precarious basket position up the top.
Yeah, it says 87 meters, but once again, the camera I don't think shows how uphill it is. So most players here ripping on a driver. Yeah, really good shot from yourself there, giving yourself, 6-7 metre putt.
Looks like Mark's jamming on that same overstable Qatari. Looks like he'll probably just put it out a little further left and see if he can't skip to the bucket.
So at this point of the round, Anthony, are you checking scores and seeing where everyone's at and
Mate,
what you need to do?
You know, I'm not usually a big fan of checking scores, but I knew we weren't in any way giving Mark a run, but I figured you and I at least needed to know where we're at. So, yeah, I believe I made mention of it whilst we were on the tee, just to add a little suspense. I know that you almost aced. It was just on the hole previous, or the hole next to this for the previous round, and you hit bucket for ace. So I knew you were going to be running this one as well.
Yeah, just a little bit shy there though. And Jimmy hitting the first tree.
So yeah, definitely knew that I had to make one up here, at least to get tied with you. So figure we'll make a run of it here at the end.
We were joking with Mark actually on this hole, and we asked him if he could just take like a 9, just to give us a bit of a chance to catch him any.
Just to give us a little help.
He didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't think he's capable of that. Courteous dog walker wanting to see what we were all about. Glad we get to share the park with everybody on the day, on the weekend. Just a nervy putt there, hey?
It was a very nervy putt. I knew you were breathing down my neck, and I showed it.
I think I might have been actually standing right behind you, breathing into your neck, just to add the suspense. But yeah,
who wouldn't be intimidated with an Anthony Rodgers, 12 feet tall, standing behind you?
Jimmy's just had the hardest luck today, mate. He just looks. Every one of them looks like it's mint as, and just gotta be pretty precise with these buckets.
I didn't even see that.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, I've been looking forward to that for the coverage. Mark showing a little flair.
That's what you can do when you're 6 shots ahead with 2 holes to play and you mark the key.
Hole 17, why don't you tell us about it, mate?
So it's 55 metres downhill. Really, really tough downhill 55 metre hole. It's one of those ones that you just you don't practice when you're at the field, and it seems like it's right there to get, but for the last 2 rounds it's eluded me and I haven't got it. It should be a stock overstable part of backhand. We'll see how the card plays it.
Yeah, no, I got this the first 2 rounds, was pretty happy with it, but we just stepped up to this and it was like the wind just crept up out of nowhere as well. We had, don't think you could even tell on the coverage, but I think we had a good solid 20-mile-an-hour wind coming at us. Is that a berg out of your hand?
That is a berg out of my hand. Every time you throw a berg, everyone makes mention of a berg now. I love a good berg.
Yeah, it's become a thing. Once again, especially with the old park rangers, but
I feel if you don't have touch, get a berg.
Well, you don't need touch when you've got a key in the bag, mate.
Yeah.
So.
Also, when you're taking 2 shots to get a 55 metre hole in to get to the bag.
Jimmy just juices it a little bit. I think he's probably going to be about 8 meters out. Yeah, Mark gives a little bit too much juice as well.
Just not a really good putt, really. Not much you can say about that. Jimmy with his comebacker. I don't think I've ever seen someone hit more metal and take less drops.
Yeah, no, it was unfortunate on the day. And Mark, just doesn't look like that was going in for any money and just sneaks it in the back door.
That's wisdom right there.
Hey, age and wisdom over youth and vigor, I guess. Bit of camaraderie there.
Yeah. So we're all drawn up, 10 apiece, going into the last hole. Effectively, this is a playoff hole for you, yourself and I.
Yeah, well, again, I think we had already pretty much seen that Mark has run away with it. So unless he takes an 8 on this, that we're just playing for fun between you and I for second place.
Here we go, par 4, 164 metres. So players are going to throw something out that gap and eyes are around and try and make their way into the field. I think it's an advantage to push as far up as you can off your drive. So leaves the upshot a little bit shorter. Really steep hill on the right side, and I've seen a lot of people take some pretty nasty rollaways down the hill.
You see this gap in the middle here. I hope that the folks who are putting in the course next year make thought of attempting to get us to go up that, just because I think it would be fun to see people trial that gap as opposed to the a little bit easier flick and or Annie out the left-hand side. But
it's just danger really through the gap, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't think many people took it, but I just think it would be a bit more fun to have to hit that gap.
For sure, yeah.
That and this shot can tend to be pretty blind as well, so you don't necessarily want to go begging up the hill. What's this beautiful disc you got in the hand, mate?
This is a disc given to me by one Henry Peterson from Winnow. Winnow actually another sponsor of the tournament as well.
Absolute mash, brother. You are on the top side. Maybe a 40-50 meter upshot. I mean, you've just annihilated it.
Jimmy trying to go the straight gap there and making it. Wow.
Good on him. Attaboy, Jimmy.
Yeah, playing the hole probably was designed to be played, really.
All right. Well, I know that you've put on the pressure just being up there with probably a putter upshot. So,
do you feel the pressure? What's going through your head here?
Yeah. Again, you can tell there's a bit of wind behind us. I got a good rip on it. Just ends up begging a little bit right. Pin high on the underside. I'll certainly be trying to give it a run from the bottom just to put a little pressure on you, but not exactly what we wanted. We want to be on the top side for a putt, especially on the precarious position that the basket's in.
Jimmy ripping on it and just getting a little bit low there. So I just want you to know I'm famous for choking and crumbling like a cookie at the last second here. So that was all that was going through my head. Like, you always crumble here.
Oh, man. Mark with an awesome upshot here as well. Manages to stay in bounds by about a disc width there.
4 blades of grass, I think.
You can see me walking to my lie up the back there. You were you going between a few different discs on this one? I saw you having a yarn with Kane about what could be.
So Kane from MA1 walked up to me and he's like, "Mate, you should throw your berg." And I had my zone in my hand. And I was like, "That's a good idea." So really, I have Kane to thank for that upshot and putting it within about 2 or 3 meters.
Yeah, well, it was well done there, mate. Doesn't look like he'll be putting from very far there. Jimmy, I think he wanted to give this one a nice run. At least he's sure to make that putt. Again, I'm just down here in the bottom.
You need to throw this in. You're going with your signature flex forehand, and it's there for a tap-in.
Hey, mate, a 4 is a good score in this hole. Just not what I needed to take a 3 to beat you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lay it up.
And Mark's not going to lay it up, he says.
And he doesn't need to.
Okay, that was kind of a layup. I'm not going to lay it up.
Oh, and a sportsman, Mark is. Make sure to run the putt.
Yeah, there he goes. He's happy with it.
What a great job. Mark just played great golf all weekend. He made it too hard to chase down. You feeling the pressure here on this little...
It's probably about 4
4
meters,
meter
but it feels about 14.
Oh, well done, mate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Cheeky smile there.
Yeah, tapping for yourself and tapping for Jimmy there. So, pleasure playing with you guys. I had a lot of fun, actually, and yeah, really enjoy being pushed. So, yeah, pleasure playing the card with you.
Awesome. Well, it was a great round here thank you for joining us on...
Good pop on that high five, too.
Oh, ta. Yeah, it was great to get a chance to do the commentary with you here today, mate.
Yeah.
Your final scores for the final round here. Again, not too much going on the backside. I think everything was already pretty much wrapped up by the time we got here.
Matt Masters from MA1 putting himself up into 4th place, winning the playoff. Josh Parada for there.
Shout out to the boys as well. They did a great job. Hopefully we'll see them in MPO sometime soon, so
Yeah.
they can get themselves on some coverage card.
Absolutely. A lot of park rangers making their way up, so good to see.
Hey, well, thank you very much. Again, remember to like and subscribe to T-Box Media. We'll see you on the next one, eh?
Yeah.